Today I want to talk about a manga I recently read called Hina Change. It's a really messed up manga about these two childhood friends who can swap bodies with each other. I'm sure we've seen this trope many times before. For example, Your Name by Makoto Shinkai. That one's a beautiful romance story, but Hina Change is far from it. It's a dark, depressing story. So if it's okay with you, hang around till the end. Hina, Amano, and Ren were neighbors and childhood friends as close as family. They were basically inseparable. They did everything together. When they were little, they figured out that they could swap bodies with each other by holding their pinkies and saying change. How did they able to do that? Don't know. They were able to do it since childhood. Hina was very timid, so she always relied on Ren. Whenever she got into trouble, Ren would swap bodies and took care of her. But as they grew older, they drifted apart, up to the point they stopped talking to each other, and when she gets bullied on a daily basis, Ren wouldn't even bat an eye. Ren was the popular student in the class, so many girls were after him, but he was already in love with his best friend. So one day he mustered the courage and confessed his feelings. We've all been there. It's hard to get the courage to confess because we fear rejection, and I assume it's even more harder when the person you love is the same sex as you are. So yeah, Ren is gay and he is in love with his best friend Makoto. So what's the worst thing can happen? He'll just say no, right? Wrong. He was rejected in the worst possible way. There wasn't any malice in Makoto's words of rejection, but it was more than enough to break Ren. So when Hina found him crying in the library, he changed bodies with Hina in desperation and went to see Makoto, confessed again, and had sex right then and there. When he came back to his senses, he understood how much of a fucked up thing he just did and begged for forgiveness from Hina. Surprisingly, she forgave him and offered to switch bodies whenever he wanted. Her reason for that was simple. She was in love with Ren and she knew he would never choose her, so that was the only connection she had with him. So she let Ren use her body with Makoto while she was adjusting to Ren's body and his personality. From there, it got more and more messed up when Makoto actually started to fall in love with Hina, until he found out it wasn't Hina at all. The problem with Hina was that she never spoke or did anything for herself. She was always so dependent on Ren. So when Ren stopped talking with her, there was no one she could rely on. But in the end, she understood that she had to change in order to get out of this mess. So in the end, Hina changed for the better. It's a small manga, but it leaves an impression on you. We've seen the light-hearted version of body swapping in Your Name, and in Hina Change, we get to experience the dark side of the body swapping genre.